next
Yes.
session that I will be covering this up.
Okay, ma'am. Okay. Ma'am, actually, the reason to visit our secretary,
Hmm.
the secretary is the all the schools under him in the province.
Okay.
And when he come to the Mumbai and when he get the idea about the conference and all things,
Mhm.
definitely he will inform all the teachers to watch all the recordings, all the videos.
Okay.
That's why we record all the sessions, and
Mhm.
we record firstly we record all the sessions, and after
Mhm.
that we circulate to all the teachers to watch all the videos, all the recordings.
Okay. So,
The,
you're thinking that these videos are some way helping the teachers
yeah, ma'am, your sessions are more
in their
important.
academic career?
Yeah, ma'am.
Sorry?
Ma'am, your lecture series are more important to the teachers because they get lot of things.
Okay.
Lot of things and every lesson you give the lot of ideas, a lot of points to them to think and to for their capacity development.
Okay. That's very nice. Okay. Let's move ahead. Let's start.
Janani, can you start?
Okay, I can, sir. Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Okay, shall I start, sir?
Yes, you can start.
Ayubovan, Vanakkam, Namaste, and very good day to everyone. I am Janani from Anuradhapura, Sri Lanka. Today, I am your host on behalf of the International Association for Quality Education. The International Association for Quality Education is a non-profit international organization working with educators across the global society to enhance the quality of education and contribute to achieving the Sustainable Development Goals. The International Project for Capacity Development in Education has been implemented along with the International Conference Series on Quality Education. The international project serves as a platform for education professionals to share best practices, research findings, and competencies with all stakeholders in the field of education. Additionally, the platform acts as a virtual learning space for young education educators to gain new knowledge and grow as professionals in the education sector. Today, we are honored to have a very special speaker with us. She is Ms. Preeti Tyagi ma'am from India. She is conducting a lecture series on effective classroom management for quality pre-primary and primary education. Today, she will discuss the topic of a touch-up of NEP and pedagogical strategies. I believe it will be an interesting topic for all of us. Namaste, ma'am.
Namaste, Janani. Thank you so much for introducing me. It was so good. It was very profound, and I always feel happy when I just get to meet each one of you. Each So thank you so much. Thank you for being here. Okay, so now we need to take a little bit twist here because rather than talking about the national education policy, because since I thought that because national education policy that belongs to India, it is very wide and very comprehensive. So I need to pick up certain things which could be beneficial for the Sri Lankan teacher and the Sri Lankan government. For that, it will take a certain time. So I'll be preparing it after a while. And today we are going to discuss a very, very important topic. And yes, let me share that what this topic is all about, but you will like it. Even the teachers and the students will learn a lot from this topic. So are we all set?
Ma'am, can you give me the 1 minute?
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Before share the presentation, I would like to invite the Rashmiti Agi ma'am. She has
Yeah,
joined.
I guess Rashmi ma'am has joined. Yes,
Yeah,
why
yeah,
not, sir?
yeah. Ma'am, Rashmi ma'am, you can unmute ma'am.
Yes, sir. Welcome, everybody. It is so nice, attending this wonderful exchange of knowledge on the planet Earth. Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am, definitely.
Yeah.
Firstly, we need to thank you because due to your leadership, we do everything.
Oh, thank you for
Yeah,
calling me.
we coordinate
leader,
everything.
sir. Thank you so much. And I heard uh, uh, Preeti telling such good things about national education policy. So that's really good. As she's, yes, please.
Yeah, actually, ma'am, that national education policy belongs to India. So I am just working on that, wherein that I could pick up certain points which could be beneficial for everyone, transcending the
Yeah.
territory
Certainly.
and the countries. So it is
Yes.
taking some time, but yeah. So today I am just going to talk about something very, very important. So, and that is the active learning.
Yes.
So should we start sharing the screen, ma'am?
Yes, sir. Kamal Guda, sir. Anything else right now?
No, ma'am. At the end, can you give the feedback?
Yes, sir. Definitely. And in the middle also, if you will allow me and Preeti will allow me, then
Sure,
I
ma'am.
will ask questions or maybe I'll add to it. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
So
You
please.
come always.
Stage is always yours, ma'am.
No, it is yours, the young people. We are at the back, Anyway,
Young
please.
people always work better when they are under guidance.
Oh, thank you so much for giving us respect.
So I'm just going to share. Okay. So as I told you that we are going to talk about very, very important topic, and the important topic for today is active learning, right? When I say active learning, so rather than saying that what should we go ahead, what should we do, we should be very particular about that what shouldn't we do, and what shouldn't we do, that if we are doing active learning, so what shouldn't we do? We shouldn't do passive learning. So let's understand first of all that what is this active learning and what is this passive learning. So let's start with the active learning. Children do not learn by being told, they learn by doing. For in the heart of exploration, understanding is born. So this particular statement brings out the very dearest idea that whenever we teach our children, they do not understand by teaching only. How do they understand? When they are involved, when they are being partner in this learning teaching system. So that is called active learning. So we are just enhancing that knowledge further as well. So let's move. There are certain, more definition to it. Okay. Active learning is a teaching approach that actively engages students in the learning process. It is not always about the speaking, the way that the teacher keeps on reciting the literature, keeps on telling the process, keeps on doing everything in the class, no matter that how hard he or she tries to communicate to the students, but until unless he or she involves the student into this activity, they won't be able to understand. Until unless the teacher encourages them to be the participant and take responsibility, right, it will always be a kind of a bookish knowledge. So that would be called as a passive learning, when the teacher is doing his part but the children are uninterested into this learning system. So rather than passively receiving information from a teacher or textbooks, now what are the key characteristics, what are the specialities of this active learning? First of all, it is student centered, it is not teacher centered, right? That wherein the teacher is doing everything and students are only listening. They are seated at their desks, they have their books opened in front of them, but what is the end result? End result is the zero. They are just simply seated there because they are forced to. No, that is not active learning. In fact, that is a part of passive learning, and passive learning is totally different strictly prohibited in the school, in the classes, from everywhere. So student center means that we are focusing on what are students doing, what sort of narratives they are building up, what sort of a presentation they are bringing forth, not just what the teacher says. Now, another is involve higher order thinking. You must be remembering that in our previous lecture series that we talked about the Bloom's taxonomy, that wherein that bifurcated that there are certain the low order skills, that remembering and understanding, but there are something high order skill. For an example, analysis. Analysis means weighing out the pros and cons, finding out the benefits, advantages of everything. So what sort of a teaching promotes the analysis, synthesis, the kind of similarity, interdisciplinary approach, and evaluation, and the creation. These are the higher order skill, and basically these are the need and necessities of this 21st century. So teachers have to work on inculcating these higher order thinking skills. And how are they going to be inculcated? That when the learning is active, when there is an involvement from the student sides. And how are we going to involve the students? When our lecturer is interested, when we are engaging them, when we are believing in students capacities and abilities. Now, another one is interactive. It shouldn't be like that teacher is doing all the talking, teacher is doing all the teaching. No. Again, it would involve the discussion, collaboration, problem solving, peer teaching, wherein that he is, inviting the narrative, he's inviting the discussion, collaboration. He's just making them and he's just bringing up these pairs and asking them to do certain work. So what sort of a work they are doing it, right? It makes them the interactive, it makes them interested into the topic. So when we are just making our teaching student centered, in higher involving higher order thinking, that we are emphasizing on to the higher order skills like synthesis, analysis, creation, assessment, right? These are the higher order thinking. And not only that, it's not a lopsided, in fact it's interactive, it's a two-way communication. So it means that now that we have given the way to the active learning. Now, how are we going to recognize, because we are so engrossed in imparting the knowledge to our students, so how are we going to learn that what is active learning? Are we doing this active teaching in the class? See, when there are certain kind of questions that we can notice amongst the students, it means that yes, that we are onto the right track. For an example, that we have taught something and now the students are discussing, like, I can maintain focus on my activity for a period of a time. I can show higher levels of energy, fascination. When children are coming up with these sorts of questions, like it will take you to the, listening presentation. Then when we talk about that, what is the difference between hearing and listening? So listening involves the active hearing, basically when our mind and our brain is engaged in whatever that we are hearing. So exactly, it goes well with the active learning as well, when the teacher is teaching something but simultaneously it is motivating the children to come along with their different questioning, right? They are self motivated, they do not need the external push, right? They are feeling like coming to the class, they are feeling like just to be into that topic and be into the moment. They are not physically present in the class, simultaneously mentally as well. So when you will recognize, and how are we going to recognize? See, we all are teacher, we can easily recognize that how effective our lesson is going in the class, and how sort of interest that we have created in the class. See, there are only two reasons that why a student doesn't study, right? Either the topic is uninterested and we are not bringing that interest, or there is some problems to it, right? So in these two reasons that we have to identify. Another reason that we talked about the mental wellness, when we have done that presentation, when we have done that lecture, and that mental wellness and mental being. So we just talked about that out. Now, another one is very, very important slide. I would like each one of you to pay a little bit more attention to that slide. See, that's a kind of a pyramid. And why I have brought that pyramid here? Just to, give us an idea that, there are different sort of methodologies a teacher adopts, technique, tactics, right? So let's try to bring out that what approach brings what, right? What sort of an retention through these techniques that we can bring into a child's mind. So let's talk about, if we are just simply lecturing, that we are teaching the student that the way that we are speaking, so it means that we are able to create only 5% of retention in a student's mind, right? Only it will benefit the student only 5%. It means no matter that what sort of a voice modulation that we have, still all the same, right? It means that out of that 90% of the efforts have gone in vain. Only 5% impact is left on a student's mind. If we are simply reading and lecturing, it means 10% that we are able to create the impact, only 10%. We are speaking with simultaneously that we have taken the assistance from the audio visuals, that there are visuals, there is audio. So it means that 20% that we are okay, that we have imparted the education only for 20%. Demonstration, if we are showing something, see, these are the parts of passive learning till now, because in all those processes only the teacher is doing the bit. You just realize it and you will find only the teacher is doing everything. There is no involvement from the student side. If I am lecturing, it means I am involved. If I am reading to them, I am involved. Audio visual, I'm showing to them something, I am involved. I am demonstrating something to. It means that I am only involved into the discussion. When we are, discussing, I cannot take the discussion further. Can I do so? I can't. How could a one person do all the discussion? No. It means that definitely this time I'll be, needing the assistance from my students. I'll be needing them as a partners in this teaching learning process. So now that will impact 50%. It means half of the journey is over. Now, what about the other half? We cannot leave our students just like that, achieving only the half, right? It means now there is something more that we have to do. Practice and doing. It means that once we have taught them that how things are going to happen, now this is the time that wherein they have to replicate, they have to practice. And when they will practice that, when they will create something, it will make them to learn 75%. Now, again, what about this 25%? Should we leave them just like that? Should we be happy? Should we, make the parents happy by saying, okay, your child has learned 75%? No, this is not our job done. We have to do something more. And what is this more? Teach other. It means peer teaching. Now our children are ready, right? If they have practiced, they have learned. So unless they are just, replicating it, they are just not, giving it back. So everything is useless. When they are confident enough, right, to give it back to others the same way they have received. So it means that 90% of the education is done. We have reached a good number. What about this 10%? Yes, actually, this 10%, if we will leave that pyramid here by saying, okay, children, 90% of the job is done, you all are intelligent, stupendous, fantabulous. No, that is not going to happen. We have to work on 10% more. And what is this 10%? It means that wherein that we have to ask and motivate our students. See, this 10% is the practical learning. And you have to work according to the situation, according to the people, according to the needs, right? And because as of now, nobody is aware about the uncertainties, right? Sometime, no matter that what sort of a planning that we do, our planning would fail. But we can't be failed. Why? Because we have always something in the backup. And what is this backup? Our readiness, right? The real learning always teaches that we should not give up. In fact, we have to be resilient. And a resilient person is the one that who fares, who navigates all sort of a circumstances. So that 10% is left up to their readiness, that how resilient they are. And how are they going to get that resilience? That once that we will create that bond with with our students. Yes, bond will bring that resilience among the students. So the 10% is very, very important. It cannot be, undervalued. Yes. Okay, so now for an example, see, there is a case, and the case goes just like that. Mr. Rakesh, a grade 8 teacher in urban school, intends to teach a student, that he wants to teach a student about ratio and proportion. He browsed approximately 25 minutes to find out the supporting material and ended up having two excellent videos, 14 and respectively. He downloaded them and he begins with the introduction of the topic and continued with playing the video. He provides detailed explanation for 10 minutes. Many students in the class exchange glasses and engage in unrelated activity. You will see, but when the bell rings, signaling the end of the class, Mr. Rakesh concludes abruptly and departs. Yes, we need to understand the situation. In this situation, what should we do? There are certain questions. Kindly read those questions, and try. You need not to answer to me. You have to answer to yourselves that what was he doing? Whatever Mr. Rakesh was doing, though he was trying to bring the benefit to the students, but all the technique and all the methodology was failed, right? Because it was all Mr. Rakesh doing, right? He did not include the students, right? He did not make them interactive. That is why when he initiated that topic, all the children were haphazard. They couldn't figure out what is 2 and 2, right? Everything was at 6s and 7, right? So it means why generally it happens many a time that you might have observed the other teachers, your own behavior as well, that our intention is very true. Our intention is just like that, that yes, we have to teach our student, but see, many a times intention do not matter. What matters, impact does. What sort of impact that we are bringing, right? So we need to work on the impact, no matter that how hard we are trying, but everything we are trying it not beforehand, but the same moment. We did not introduce the topic, we are just bringing out this and that in the class, and we have simply wasted the time. And that is why Mr. Rakesh has to conclude the class abruptly and depart. This is where the student being disinterested, uninterested into the topic, because once some topic will not interested, they will not take the interest further. Now into the consecutive classes, Mr. Rakesh will always be failed in bringing the children's interest back, because this beginning was not up to the mark. So these kind of a try and avoid these sort of a situation into your class. Now, reason a child might not engage in active learning, many a times that we love blaming the student that he doesn't take any interest, right? I don't know what is he up to, but he doesn't take any interest into it, right? Okay, so let's talk about that, why he doesn't take interest, that we need to figure out. It's not always about that we in the picture, there could be certain more reason to it, right? But yes, that is for sure, all the reason can be sorted out by the teacher. How? Sometimes we have to take the assistance from the management, sometimes from the parents, and sometimes there are situations that we can handle ourselves. But yes, we have to take everything into the consideration, my dear teachers. Here I would like to bring the very incident that has taken place today itself. You might have heard a very reputed university in Noida, that is the Sharda University, right? One girl committed suicide, leaving 3 professors, right? In the written explanation, she said that I was mentally harassed by these teacher, these professors, professor, I complained many a time, but it did not bear any fruit, and I am taking my own life. That happened today itself. And now, what is, you can easily guess the consequences. So we have to avoid that situation. Believe me, take my word for an instance, our intent does not matter. Impact does. So no matter that how pure your intentions are, you definitely want good for your students. But the way you are handling it matters the most. So it means every time you have to keep your calm, you have to maintain your patience, and you have to deal it with the, keeping the concerned authority in loop. So let's talk about lack of interest and motivation. The topic or activity doesn't spark their curiosity. Maybe the kind of topic that they are going to deal with, right? It is not giving them any interest, right? It feels bored, right? They do not see any relation to the topic with the practical life. Now, what is the point? Should we stop teaching it? Just a second, please. I think there is a call ringing. हेलो
हेलो
यस भैया
वो ना मैं मिंत्रा से कहाँ पड़ेगा ऐसा
कहाँ पर
कैसा कहाँ पर
I'm really very sorry. There was a constant call, right? Okay.
If you want to take some time, I can continue with your training and PPT. Are you busy?
Ma'am, we can't hear, ma'am.
Yeah, sir.
Preeti, ma'am, we can't hear you.
Preeti?
Hello? Yes, ma'am. Can you hear me?
And now we can
Yes,
hear,
yes,
ma'am.
now we can hear you.
Okay. But there was a constant call, and that is I had to pick it up. Okay.
Is it
Now, let's
settled now?
yes,
The call is
yes.
settled? Okay.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
So
Good.
now let's continue with it, right? Union Bank. Lack of interest and motivation. When I say that many a time children do not take interest into the topic, so what should we do? We can't leave the topic just like that, and so it means that this is wherein we have to devise certain strategies and technique which can make them interested. And how are we going to do it? That we can bring out certain practical incidents from the commoners life, from the society, that wherein they will synthesize that topic to the practical life. Now, fear of making mistakes. Many a time that you might have come across certain students that way they do not answer because of the fear that the question might be, they might respond wrongly. Yes, this is where that we need to pat their back by saying, okay, we are not looking for the very precise answer, but we are looking for the answer. And answer could be right and wrong. When you use that sentence, believe me, everybody would come ahead to share the answer. Because generally that I keep saying saying this into my class, that so if you can answer the question right, it means that you are the leader. If you cannot, that you will learn it today, but without answering you will never learn. So these are small sentences that wherein that we have to bring them into the process, and that way they will come over their mistakes. Now, not feeling confident and supported. You might have come across wherein there are certain students which are quite favorite to the teachers, but others feel themselves neglected and unsupported. This sort of a tendency that we have to dilute from the system. Like we have to make everybody feel that they are they all are equal. Yes, definitely that teacher rely on the student that who is intelligent, but you can also be, equally important. You are equally important to us. The only difference is that we do not like the way. So there is a particular pattern of saying it, right? But just provide them the help, that what sort of a help they need, right? Lack of encouragement can lead to passivity, because until unless that they feel motivated, and you believe me, many a time that they are so impressed by the kind of motivation that they are getting from the teacher, rather than getting it from the parents, right? They are always into the need of getting that encouragement from the teacher only. So do not let them to be passive enough. Do not let them to gain that passivity. So this is where that you just keep a keep a encouraging hand on their head by saying, I am with you. Okay, go ahead and let's do it together. Learning style mismatch. Okay, sometime that you might have observed the teaching or the kind of activity that you are doing in the class, it will not suit their way of learning, right? They might need more visual. It means that you're talking and reading, but no, they need a kind of visual presentation, right? It may happen. For an example, I would like to bring out my own example. There is a chapter in 11th, and the name of the chapter is Ailing Planet. This chapter deals in the deteriorating condition of Mother Earth, right? That how selfish that we have become in consuming the natural resources, what sort of deforestation that we are causing. But I happen to be Chhattisgarh, right? This is the kind of explanation that I have been providing my student when I am here in the NCR. And when I went to the Chhattisgarh and I thought of bringing out the same example, I felt that very moment, no, these examples are not going to work here. Because I say to my student in NCR, in Delhi, see, you can see around the kind of skyscrapers that you are bound to live in. You don't see any trees around it. It is always the pollution. But in Chhattisgarh, there was no such pollution. Even there were trees all along the way. So it means this is where that I have to bring out something visual to make them understand that why this chapter has been penned, why the topic has been included into the syllabus. So this, all the W's that we have to answer to the students. Believe me, what, when, where, why, and how. When we will learn to answer these W family, I say W family, that children will automatically take the interest in every sort of, learning and teaching process. They will be the partners. How to encourage active learning? By again using the acronym SMART, that we have to be smart. We have to make certain goals that are specific, that we have to create the teaching well in advance. We should not take the precedent the way Mr. Ashok has done, that he was doing everything on the 11th hour. No, in fact, that we have to prepare everything beforehand. We have to make our objective very, very clear and very, very specific, measurable. It shouldn't be like that whatever objective that we are playing, planning, they all are going haywire. No, they are to be measurable, that we can count, not exactly 1 2 3 number that we can count it. No, it means that we can take them into the consideration, that this objective is bringing what, how this particular objective is inculcating the learning among my students. Attainable, can we achieve? Then I hope that we are not making the abstract objective. It means the kind of objective which are good on the paper, but in real life they are nowhere to be seen. Relevant, yes, all the objectives are to be world relevant. It's not about that we are putting the objective, they are country specific, they are society specific, they are ethnicity specific. No, since we are dealing the generation which is to be called as the global citizen, it means that whatever objective, whatever goals that we are setting for them, they are relevant to the universe, they are relevant as per the needs of the world. And time based, until unless that we put anything to the time stipulated time, nothing is going to be completed. Otherwise, thing will always be into that, into that boring and exaggerated ways. Okay, so let's make them time bound. Now, why is active learning important? Right? Because until unless that we answer the question why, right, all the learnings will go wasted. So because it enhance engagement, if we have adopted the active learning method, it means that we have automatically enhanced the engagement from whom? From both the parties, teachers as well as students. Deeper understanding when they are into the active mode. All sort of activity makes a person active, so it goes well with the learning as well. So when we have enhanced the engagement, student will understand deeply, it will improve their retention and transfer of knowledge. They can further replicate their knowledge to others, right? They can retain. It's not about that today they have learned something and tomorrow everything is gone. Development of critical skills. Yes, high order skills. Critical skills are equal to high order skills, right? So they are going to get the high order skills. Now, enhanced increase student autonomy, child led, very very beautiful. I must say the sentence, that class will be student centric, child led learning. It means now it is no one way communication but the two way communication. In fact, the students are taking a good leverage. Enhance social interaction. Yes, when the students are good at conversation, good at discussion, good at interaction, automatically they will increase their social interaction. And because nowadays this is a kind of a universal problem, that children are best being confined to their own room, being confined to their own homes, being confined to their own society, but they are not so comfortable being mingled with everything and everything that whosoever comes in contact with. They feel shy, sometimes they don't feel like talking, sometimes they may their behavior may lead to the insult to others. So preparation for future challenges, of course, when these students are that much active, undoubtedly they can sail through any kind of a challenges. I talked about the 10%. 10% learning is all about just sharing and just navigating all the future challenges and problems. Now, developing children question and questioning skills. Questions are, even everybody has proved it. Every the literary minds and the philosopher and even the politician, even the great minds of that world, they have proved the power of questioning and question. If most of the time a beautiful answer is dependent upon the beautiful question, so we need to teach our student the art of questioning, because it's not about random question. Questioning is an art, we have to cultivate it. If we'll stop making our student to ask the question, it means that we have somehow that we have curved a very beautiful art before it was bloom. Teacher is a co-learner. Environment as the very, again I must say, this is my favorite when I say so, environment as the third teacher, right? All sort of a learning will be waste until unless that we create the environment for the same. You can apply this to you in that way you will learn it in let me give a very layman example to you, right? The kind of the beautification that we do to our homes, we do to our offices and everything around us so that we can feel good. In the similar manner that we have to create that enriching environment to us students. Treat environment as the third teacher. First is the teacher, second is the students, and the third is the environment. If these three teachers are together, nobody can stop the learning happening, right? So active learning promotes engagement, deep understanding, retention of knowledge, development of critical skill, autonomy, social interactions, and prepares students for the you know un unseen challenges and successes as well. Now, challenges to overcome. How are we going to produce it? Classroom management. Very first presentation of this series was again just knowing the class. So this is how, if we know our class, we know our student, classroom management is quite easy. Right, planning and preparation. We should not take the precedent of Mr. Ashok, that he was doing everything at the same moment. We should do the planning and preparation beforehand. Facilitating student engagement. We should motivate our student to get into the discussion, to get into and everything that we are doing in the class, through the model work, project work, discussion, debate, peer teaching. There are many ways. Assessment and evaluation. See, this is where that we have to figure out the difference. When we say assessment, it means assessment and evaluation, though they both look same, but they are different. When I say assessment, it means an evaluation. Assessment is basically that I am just trying to assess that what is needed, right, for my student to improve further. Evaluation is basically the judgment of all the processes that we have included into child learning program. It means whatever the feedback, whatever methodologies, whatever technicalities that we have adopted during this time, are they well enough? So when we do it, it means that we are evaluating that yes, the technique was good, methodology was excellent, methodology was beneficial, everything, the lesson plan was beautiful. Time constraint, that we are not asking our students to be to be more careless in terms of planning, because time does not wait for anybody. Anybody means anybody. If we are not giving them the time constraint, they will be some way after a time being, they will be lackadaisical in their approach and action. So we should give them the time constraint, right? That okay, this is the time which is required to complete that task. Classroom environment. I hope that everybody will be happy in the class. Nobody is feeling shy. Nobody is being bullied. Nobody is being shamed, like different type of shaming that children keep doing to each other, that differentiated. Nobody is feeling less motivated, less favored. This is how differentiated instruction that we are bringing in the class. It means a class is a combination of a different brain. So if, we are just giving a different kind of a technicalities and strategy to everyone. And yes, technology integration, we cannot live without the integration of our technology. Yes, this is the technology led world. So it means that we need to make our students aware about the technology, but simultaneously that we should also make them aware the ethical use of the technology, because technology can be a boon and bane as well. This is up to us, that how sensitive that we are in using this technology. So yes, we need to make them understand that yes, technology is so good, so good, right? But simultaneously it can create problems as well if it is not used with the proper guidelines. Resistance to change. Many a time people, even I would not say that only children, but everybody, even we and you, we all are resistant to change, right? Ignoring the fact that change is the only constant. So we need to make and prepare our children for the changes, right? For any sort of a changes. Yes, there are two picture. You can see the difference between these two picture. You generally, if I'll talk about the stereotypical understanding of that picture, wherein that active is written, it will say, oh, the class is so disturbed, everybody is talking. No, parameters are changed. This is the classroom that we are looking for, when everybody is engaged, not in talking, but they might be discussing. But in the passive class, everybody is seated quiet, pin drop silence is maintained, teacher is standing, teacher is doing, but everybody is so into that sleeping mode that nobody is looking to the teacher. But in the other picture wherein active is written, you see that they are talking, but no, they might be discussing. So we have to create a class wherein the children are discussing. Right. So how initially they both are viewed? Passive learning is overstimulation. We are feeding our students one information after the other and so on and so forth, right? Children are at the receiving information and ideas only. But when we say active learning, children are doing, observing themselves, involvement, creating, weighing, analyzing. Yes, right? And how are they going to do it? Group discussion. Just free them for the group discussion, right? Bring them the case studies, the kind of case studies that, I have shown to you. Just give them give them certain character, fictional character. Okay, this is the problem. What do you think that how this problem is going to be solved, right? What do you think that whatever he has done, was it to be, good enough? Or you can say that if you were at his place, how would you behave? So these were certain kind of a case study that you can create it, or you can browse it, or you can find out through any material. Problem based learning, right? Give them the problems and ask them to find out the solution. Peer teaching. Peer teaching, we already discussed about that, wherein the same group students are teaching each other. Simulations in the role play, we can do it. Hands-on activity and experiment, the kind of experiment they keep doing into the labs, right? Why it matters? Because when they are engaged, again the same thing is coming up: retention and understanding, motivation, engagement, good communication, collaboration skill, critical thinking. Because if they are solving the problem, they will come across many failure as well. When they will deal with the failure, it means their critical thinking is enhancing. They will try to find out that this particular technique will not work, but the other thing will work. Yes, very, very beautiful. It will sound a little bit strange to you when I'll give you that technique, but if you'll take a deep dive, you will find, yes, these are very, very new techniques, and very practical one. I would say try and create the noisy class. uh, that sound that sounds against the stereotypical belief. Why would we have the noise infused practical? See, we have to bring them out of their physical comfort. We have to create them little bit discomfort, right? It will work onto their retention power. For an example, add certain distraction like mild noise, background speeches. Like for an example, this like you have asked a question, give a hint to the other students that we can wherein they can start talking. In that way, see and observe that how child is responsive. How, like, has he stopped answering, right? Or he is continued, right? He's still continuing with the answer. So that way you will understand whether the child has mugged up, or he has understood these. So just try to create a sound and simple noise in the class. And yes, now another strategy is deliberate struggle, right? Deliberate struggle is again similar to the noise infused classrooms, wherein that before introducing any new topic, give learners a problem. They have no idea how to solve them. Let them struggle for a short time and then teach and concept. Give, that, see, they are not aware that what this topic entails, but you are. So you can make out any problem out of this topic, and before introducing the topic, give the problem to them and ask for the solution and see what solution they are. Maybe, we cannot ignore that fact. Yeah, they will bring out the solution which is actually the solution, right? So now walk and talk. Sometime you may also do that practice wherein that you are taking them on a walk, the entire class, and by walking that you are discussing the topic, rather than confining that classroom into the within the four walls, that you are just bringing them into the open and you are discussing the topic. And now see, right? Because this is very profound. Generally, 90% of the practical learning that we do once we are grown up, it happens that way only. We don't, nobody provides us the pin drop silence. If we are going on road, we are learning something, right? We cannot dictate that how the road has to be, right? How the traffic has to be, how the office has to be. If the office, that we have to work according to the office, the way office is, it is what it is. So it means just try and give them little bit, deliberate struggles, walk and talk reflection, and move, because there is one very beautiful phrase: movement plus verbal expression is the deeper processing. Reverse brainstorming, another one is that, rather than asking that, how could we cause this problem, that's a simple statement, that how could we do this, why not we ask that how could we make the situation worse, rather than saying that how could we make the situation good, right? Because if we'll ask that how could we make the situation worse, it means now the children will tell, yeah, children will respond to the negative, or maybe in the negative situation which are responsible making the situation worse. Now ask them, okay, just remove that. It means depletion of these problem is the solution of my first question. So in that way, they will automatically come out with the good answer. Inductive and deductive we have already done. Now, yes, Reggio Emilia approach. The entire world is going gaga over this approach, right? You might have read in the newspaper, you might have heard in many of the workshops as well, that what is this Reggio Emilia approach, right? The Reggio Emilia approach is undoubtedly the active learning. It is student centric. The principle of this approach is to view children as the competent and capable learners, valuing their natural curiosity and promoting self-explanation. So, into a very, very layman and very simplest form, Reggio Emilia approach is nothing but the active learning, wherein the students are seeing their children as capable as they want them to be. They need to resort the trust in them, they need to feel them like their own partner, and this is how they have to assign the duty, they have to assign the learning to them, and this way they will understand it, right? So now give them certain, just uh, do not encourage the traditional learning or traditional teaching pattern in the class, rather than try and make the simplest form, right? That, for an example, there are certain activity, I don't know, that you English, that for an example, I think I have discussed it earlier as well, right? Wherein that 1, 2, 3, and 3, 2, 1, I have shown it through the for the active and passive topic. Like if it is active, it is 1, 2, 3. If it is passive, it is 3, 2, 1. So when you will do it, children will further ask the question out of curiosity, out of interest. They will not find the class boring. In fact, engaging one. They will say, ma'am, what does this say? 1, 2, 3, and 3, 2, 1. And now we will give them the rule, because yeah, and same way it can happen the other subjects as well. Every subject teacher knows, the nitty gritties of his or her subjects, so he or she may surely bring out certain mnemonics. You first produce the mnemonics to the students, and this way make them interested. Once they are interested, just give them the difficult task as well, but never ever begin the class with the difficult explanation that this is what this is. No, first, the first thing is that let the interest be cultivated. And now we're going to do, oh, this is very simple. Today's topic is very simple. In fact, that many of you are already doing it, or maybe that it is being happening at your homes as well. Now this way, this sort of a communication will definitely propel them to ask the question, and then they will ask the question. It means somehow that we have laid the foundation for the active learning. This is where that we need to actually play the game. Now we have to bring the hardest explanation, and you will see and you will amaze. Now the hardest part is not seeming hardest to them. They are taking them the way they have initiated, you know. So this way, children would be much more learned. Children would be much more interested in the topic. So that is how the active learning will play the you know will play for the benefit of our students, will bring that the beneficial outcome from our students, the kind of outcome that we always look for, the we always need from our students. And yes, because that is for sure, right? No matter that how we are good at us, our subjects, but if we are not being playful, if we are not being interested in bringing out something new every day, if we are against it to the old downtrodden ways of our subjects, no. Today's generation is far more intelligent. So they can easily get to know it through the YouTube videos, tutorials. No, what else they need us? They need us for that humanly touch. And how is that humanly touch possible? When every day we are giving them something out of the passion and out of the emotions. So that way, I conclude, my topic here for active learning. So let me add a little bit, humor to it. One day I was just watching that podcast, and I just heard somebody saying, do you know that why people do not understand the scientific explanation of the scientist? Because if you have seen any scientist interview, he's always having that flat face, eyes are always just the same, right face is always just the same, emotions are always just the same. He, no matter that how intelligent he is, but still he is always unable to make an impact on the audience. But on the contrary, stand-up comedian, he leaves the impact on the people. Every now and then people burst into the laughter. So why is this happening? It's not about the lack of knowledge and the gain of knowledge. No, it's about that how well they produce it. So it means you may not so be good at your subject, but if you are involving your passion to it, you are the reverend person for your students. So let's hope to be like that teacher which is actually bringing a change in the student. So from my side, Rashmi ma'am, over to you.
Thank you, Preeti Tyagi ma'am.
Thank you.
I would like to warmly welcome Dr. Rashmi Tyagi ma'am to this virtual platform on behalf of the International Association for Quality Education. Dr. Rashmi Tyagi ma'am is a well-known edu leader in India. In fact, her reputation extends beyond to many countries, especially in Sri Lanka, where she is highly respected to her tremendous leadership in advancing educational quality across the region. Namaste, ma'am.
Namaskar. And
I would like to invite you, ma'am, and love to hear about today's session, ma'am.
yes. Actually, it was a wonderful session, and it is the need of the hour that we should change our classrooms. I also was giving a training in a very good school, like the schools in Sri Lanka, about the classroom management. So in the classroom management, we have got 3-4 things, So that is the 2 things I will mention here. That is content management. Content management means that what you are going to teach and how you are going to teach. That, what kind of a lesson plan, in what way you will present it to the students. So there we can use many pedagogies. So that is the content management. And conduct management. Conduct management means how the students are going to behave in the class with what we are teaching, what is their response, how they are connecting to their peers. That means how they are talking to each other, and what kind of discipline they are having in the classrooms. So that is also classroom management, apart from that how the tables and chairs are arranged. I think Preeti Tyagiji has already taken classroom management. But today's topic, that is active learning, it is very much related to that how something is being taught in the class, whatever you are teaching, if lots of activities are done. So passive teaching means that the teacher is giving a very good lecture, but there is no participation of the students. So which class is the best? Where the students' learning, students' activities are more than the teacher's activity. And then she mentioned that, traditional teaching methods at our times, the teacher was talking and we were so scared. We were just sitting, taking down the notes and listening to the teacher, to the lecturer, to the professors. That was our generation. But now, if there is no activity in the class, the students are not exchanging, ideas, then we say it is not an active learning. And I tell you one incident. I was the principal in Bharati Vidyapeeth. So one of my teacher, and she was very close to me. The parents just complained against her that she has, given a slap to my child. The parent, she said that. I called her. I said, why did you beat the child? You are such a nice lady. Then she said, Madam, when you come for the rounds, and if my class is talking too much, then you will call me and say that, why so much commotion in your class? Then I told her, see, if your class will be quiet, I'll say that you are not teaching them well, because there is no activity. Everybody is just like sitting there. But if there is activity in your class and I can see some, noises or maybe some other good voices coming out of your class, I will appreciate you. So, Preeti, did you mention that today?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Okay, so that is my experience of 10 years back. So from that time onwards, we are talking of the active learning. And then a lot of other things you have mentioned, that the, students, they are, doing some project work together, or that I'm adding from my side also. So for active learning, lots of, dialogue should be there. And there something should be, shown to the student, and some very good activities, and lot of integration with the dance, with the music, and some other kind of things. Because uh, today I was taking a training, and there we were trying that even we should, you know integrate dances with the maths, because lots of foot tapping, the students foot tapping in the dance, because in Sri Lanka it's cultural heritage about these dances is extraordinary. So if the students can learn through the steps in the dance, foot tapping, the maths, at the pre-primary level, then it is very good. That experiment we have done on the stage today, and the dance gives so much grace to the gestures. If you teach the dances to the students, then they are going to be so graceful when they are talking to someone, or when they are in their social lives. So that way, the graceful dance forms. So that is that kind of thing we were discussing, and that is what is active learning. So this is what I want to add. And that was a wonderful topic today. And as usual, Preeti is doing very well, but we are not getting the questions from the audience. We want the interactive, active participation of the Sri Lankan teachers, my dear. Are you listening? Hello, Preeti?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
You also tell them, today you give them a message that if the active learning is taking place, then active response and response at least behind the cameras, they can talk to us. Am I
Yes,
right?
they can text, they can message, draft their message
Yes,
by
yes.
asking the questions.
And Shanika can help us that they can at least write one message to us and maybe they can ask us questions in textual form, right? Hello, Shanika. Yes, who is there? Is
Yes,
somebody there?
teachers, if you have more questions regarding today's session, you can ask or you can mention in a chat box.
Teachers, you give your ideas, your comments, because then we are expecting your feedback about the today's session. It is a very interesting session. You can give the feedback in any language. ඔගොල්ලෝ මොනවද කියන්නේ නැත්නම් ඒක හරිය නෑනේ කට්ටියම කතාවගෙන ඉන්නකොට. If you want to say something in Sinhala language, we will translate it to the English. Teachers?
And I know you all because I'm interacting with you all on, FB, and you are presenting wonderful FB, videos where your students are so active and such very good activities are going on in your class. You can talk about that. I want to learn from you.
Drishat, we like to listen from you.
Yes, sir.
Your comments.
Yeah, thanks so much, Preeti ma'am and Rashmi ma'am. The last part was very clear. Rashmi ma'am, thank you so much. And in Sri Lanka, I can remember in 2000 when we were doing A levels, this student-centered method came. I can still remember what my teacher said when we were doing A levels. Now they have started student-centered, so that y'all should do the work alone. And she left the class. We were very disappointed. So actually, they didn't know at that time. This happened in 2000. So actually, they didn't know. They didn't have any clear idea what is student centered. They thought that we only should do every work. And there was no guidance from the teachers what to do, how to do. But now we have a clear idea. Student centered means there should be an active collaborative or the participation of teacher and the students equally in student centered class. So thank you so much for Preeti ma'am and Rashmi ma'am for explaining this. And we also actually what I learned when I was in A-level class, I took to that mind and I thought not to do like that, because the children are just all alone. If the teacher left the class, do alone. You only have to do all the projects. So I learned a lesson from that. If I become a teacher one day, I won't do to my children like that. So now what we do is we guide the children and they do something in their class. And always I use open-ended question. Why, what, where with my children, because as I'm a history teacher, I have to do storytelling. So I have to make interesting way for this storytelling. So that normally I asked to make it student-centered, I always ask WH questions. Thank you, Rashmi ma'am. Thank you for your clear explanation. And Preeti ma'am, thank you so much.
Thank
Okay.
you very much.
Minusha Dilini, we like to hear from you. Minusha Dilini, Lakshika Ratnayake Indu, Mohammad Rasad CR, Fatima?
Even 1 or 2 lines
Yeah.
that how you are conducting activities in your class.
Ziani announcement.
Yeah, you speak. චන්ද්‍රානි විජේතිලක ඔගොල්ලෝ කතා කරන්නේ නැත්නම් ඔගොල්ලෝ නිශ්ශබ්ද වෙනකොට හරියන්නේ නැහැ කැමති භාෂාවකින් කතා කරන්න. Devi, we like to listen to you. Devi?
We want to learn from you. See,
ඔව්
everything
සර්
here.
දැන් මම සිංහලෙන් කියන්නම් මට පැහැදිලි කරන්න සර් එක
Come on.
ට්‍රාන්ස්ලේට් කරන්න. මොකද
Devi.
මේ මම දැන් ඇත්තටම මම ක්ලාස් රූම් එකේදී කරන්නේ මේ චුට්ටි ළමයින්ට මේ ඩ්‍රාමා වලින් ඒක ඩ්‍රාමා වලින් කරද්දි මම ගොඩක් වෙලාවට ඒගොල්ලන්ට පරිසරයේ තියෙන දේවල් පරිසරයට ගෙනහිල්ලා දැන් අපි හිතමුකෝ තොප්පි වෙලෙන්ද කතාව කියලා. එයාට ඒක කරනවා නම් මම කරන්නේ ගස් වලින් ගත්ත දෙයකින් ඒ තොප්පිය හදලා ඒගොල්ලන්ට මේ දෙනවා මේ ඩ්‍රාමා එක කරන්න. ටීචර්ත් ඒකට සහභාගී ටීචර් තොප්පි වෙලෙන් දෙනවා අනිත් අය මංකීස්ලා වෙනවා ළමයි හරිම ඇක්ටිව්. ඊට පස්සේ මම ඒක ගිහලා එයාට ඒක කොයිතරම් ග්‍රහණය වුණාද කියලා බලන්න මම දෙනවා ඩ්‍රොයින් එකක්. ඒක හරිම ලස්සනට එයාලා අඳිනවා. මම එදා තරම් සතුටු වෙච්ච දවසක් නෑ. මට දැන් මේ ඇක්ටිව් ලර්නින් එක කොච්චර වටිනවද කියලා තේරෙනවා එතකොට මේ දැන් අද මේක කියද්දි. මට ඒක තමයි කියන්න ඕන මට ඇත්තටම හරි සතුටුයි මේ මේක හරි ඉම්පෝටන්ට් මේ අද වැඩසටහන ගොඩක්ම මේ ගොඩක් ටීචර්ස්ලට මේක ඇත්තම වැදගත් වෙන දෙයක්. ටීචර් සර් ඒක පොඩක් ට්‍රාන්ස්ලේට් කරලා කියන්න මේ.
Yeah, Dilshad, can you support to translate? Dilshad Siddiq?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Rashmi ma'am, Devi ma'am
I have
says,
understood something. She is talking about integration of art in her classroom. Please explain me more, right?
yes, ma'am.
I've
Yes.
understood, right? Okay.
Yes, ma'am. She says every lesson she does by drama. For example, when she takes Toppi Velen, the hat seller, she takes the children outside and acts like a hat seller, and others like monkeys, and she acts that and tell the story to the children, it seems. After coming to the class, she led them to draw to see how perfect and how successful her acting and her drama. That's what she says, madam.
Wonderful.
චාන්දිනි විජේතිලක හැමෝම වචනයක් කතා කරන්න මේක නැත්තම් වැඩක් නැහැනේ අපි නිශ්ශබ්ද ඉන්නකොට. සුමිත්‍රා මිස් චාන්දිනි විජේතිලක හැමෝම කතා කරන්න ඉක්මනට කතා කරන්න මෙතන බලන් ඉන්නම් හරි. ඉක්මනට චම්පිකා රෝෂිනි
At least say hello to us.
Actually, ma'am, I am very glad to have this opportunity. I take this opportunity to express my sincere thanks to both of you. It is a very, very important lesson, and once again, I am glad to have this opportunity and I express my sincere thanks both of you, ma'am. Thank you.
Social media and doesn't have a phone also.
Thank you. very
Hello.
much.
Hello, thank you very much. I just came to know about Reggio Emilia approach today.
Okay.
I wanted to thank you and I wanted to know about that. About more discussion, I will hope
Okay.
another session about that.
Okay. Okay.
දිස්නා සුමිත්‍රා ඉන්දු
Very good. I am very happy today listening to you. And you will are really talking to us with lots of love. That's very soothing to us.
Your lectures are very important in our teaching life. Smart classroom is very important in our Sri Lankan school. I think that's very important. Thank you, madam.
Right. That's fine. Smart. They are important. I'm very happy today, and every day we'll have 10 minutes for being interactive, and I will invite the teachers from Sri Lanka to talk for at least 1 or 2 minutes. every one of you, about how you have done a certain lesson. Say the topic, and you can tell that in what way, which pedagogy, the style of teaching you have used. And if you want, you can give one photograph of that also. So we will also learn from you. It should be active learning on your part, and active, I will not say that we are teaching you, exchange of knowledge. Thank you so much.
Sure, madam. Thank you.
Yeah, welcome.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Janani, your thanks to all.
Thank you.
Janani,
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you
Janani,
very much.
ಸ್ತುತಿಗಳನ್ನು ಮಾಡಮ್ಮ.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Rashmi Tyagi ma'am and Preeti Tyagi ma'am, for giving a wonderful session for us. Thank you, and namaste, ma'am.
Namaste. Good night.
Good night. Blessings to you.
Good night, ma'am.
Ashirwad.
Namaste. Good night.
Okay.
Good night, ma'am.